Okay, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be showing you my AI meeting assistant that will increase sales and make you more money. So how this works is whenever you finish a meeting, it's automatically going to start this workflow that is going to do research and analysis on that meeting to be able to provide you an email with a summary and improvements of what you can do better for next time. So just to show you an example of this, right? Let's say one of my sales reps who's a closer takes a sales call for me. What it's going to do is it's going to do research on that call, and then it's going to turn it into an email that it's going to send to me and him with an overview and improvements that looks something like this. So it's going to tell me which one of my sales reps took the call. It's going to tell me how long the call was. It's also going to tell me how much cash collected was made on the sales call. And then it's going to give 5 tips to him that he can improve on with timestamps from the meeting. So he can very easily click on the MP4 of the recording of the sales call and then go to the time to see what he can improve on for next time, right? And obviously it gives you the transcript URL, and you can even do much more. This is just to give you inspiration. So let's dive straight into this. Hopefully that gives you a good overview of how pretty crazy it is, because I'm all about making more money, and I see a lot of people who make these YouTube videos are just making automations for the sake of it, whereas this one actually will make you more money. So let's dive into this. The first thing you are going to do is head over to make.com, and the best part about this is it's pretty much free. This literally doesn't cost anything. So I'm all about saving you money as well. So yeah, drop a like, and obviously you want to log in. Now, once you log in, we are going to create a new scenario. Now, the first thing we're going to do is add a trigger. So a trigger is how we start the automation. So obviously this needs to be Fireflies. If you don't know what Fireflies is, essentially it's a meeting recording software that basically turns your video into a transcript. So words, essentially. So if we search for Fireflies, you can see that it's right here, and we're going to do list transcripts. Now, how this works is we obviously don't want a bunch of old calls that you've made in the past, right? So this is going to act immediately when you end a meeting. It's going to start this workflow. So it's going to be new calls every single day that it's going to summarize and send emails to you and your team, right? So first thing is you want to add the API key inside Fireflies. So what you're going to do is you are going to head over to fireflies.ai. Now, it will take you to a sign up page, and you sign up for free. You don't need to pay for anything, okay? So that's the beautiful part about this. And if we want to find the API key, I believe going to integrations, and then you search for, you don't search for Make, but you search for Fireflies. Now, what you do is once you're here, you essentially want to grab your API key, which is down here, and you want to go back into Make. So let's go back into Make, and you'd want to add it in here. So once you add your API key, you've now connected Fireflies to Make, and that's probably the hardest thing to do. It's a really easy workflow. So once you've done that, you then just want to select the email that is connected to Fireflies, and for the title, I believe if we go to this one to show you what I've put, you can leave this all blank. That's a beautiful thing. All we need is the date, which is now. So this is going to act as sales calls or any type of meetings that happen now. So it's going to immediately start the workflow. So you can leave that blank. You can leave the host email blank. Just put the date as now. So you can actually search for items and just search for now. And then once you click that, you can then click OK down here. So perfect. You've now added Fireflies to Make, and this is going to start the workflow whenever you end a meeting, which is what we want. So now we're going to add a, if we go back here, I believe it's a, iterator. So I'll explain why we're doing this right now, but it is crucial. You can't miss out this step. It's slightly annoying, but an iterator basically, so if we put the array on sentences and then click OK. So what happens is if we run this and just click run anyway, it doesn't matter that the things there. So you'll see why we're doing this in a second, but it's just a part of the process, that you have to do essentially. So once you've done that, we're going to do tools, which is going to be text aggregator. So let's just wait for this to load. So you can see as an output for these sentences, you'll see that it gives you every single sentence that is made from the transcript, from the actual meeting you have, right? But we obviously want to make this a bit more in a better format. So instead of it being you can say, I think you're muted. So this is just the start of the meeting. So, hey, Gonzalo, how you doing? You can see, this is just a general meeting, where you're taking the call from. We want to make it into bundles, essentially. So you can see here, this is making it a bit better. And then what we're going to do next is the tools. And if we click on tools, we're looking for text aggregator. So text aggregator, and source model is going to be this one. So iterator, which is what we've just done. And then the text is going to be, I believe, raw text. Now, let me just double check, because doing it off the top of my head is hard. So yeah, you're going to add speaker and then text, which is going to be raw text, and then speaker is going to be speaker name. So let's just quickly do that. So text is like that. And then we can add speaker name, and that can be speaker name, or this can just be speaker, to be honest. You don't need name. And then click OK. So now if we run this, so it's always good to be running your workflows. You don't want to have to go through the entire process just to realize you've got a constraint right at the start. So continuously run your workflows, and you'll see that if we look at this, it's now got it into bundles, which is absolutely beautiful. This is what we need to have. There's no other way around it. I promise you, I'm not just including this for the sake of it. I'm all about efficiency, by the way. So now we can head over to ChatGPT or whatever language model you want. If you want to use Claude, you can use that. If you want to use Perplexity, you can use that, but we're just using ChatGPT because it's probably the simplest. Now, how you would do this is you would just add OpenAI right here, and we are going to, I believe, do create a completion. Now, once you click on this, it's going to give you a few different options, but you need to add your API key. So just like what we did with Fireflies, in order to connect ChatGPT, which is OpenAI, to Make, we need an API key to put them together. So what you would do is you'd head over to OpenAI, and you would, I believe, go to the assistance part. So if we go to OpenAI, I believe .com, maybe /assistant. So you can see here, /API-keys. It should take you to the place in which you can get an API key, and then you can just create a new secret key. Call this whatever you want. You can call it make, create a key, and then you'll get an API key, which you can basically just put in here, which is what we want. So that is absolutely perfect. For the organization, I believe you can just put that as your organization ID, which you should be able to find in there, but it's pretty easy to connect OpenAI to Make. Once you've done that, you want to check, create a chat completion, and you want to select the model you want. To be honest, you can just go for any. I personally use just this, GPT 4.0, but you can use whichever one you want. And then for the message, this is really important. So we're going to put user, and we are essentially then going to prompt this whole workflow. So this is the most important part, because if you don't add a good prompt, it's not going to give you a good email or a summary of the meeting. So just to show you how in-depth my prompt is, if we go to my ChatGPT, so as you can see, we're just following this automation so far. You can see that my prompt basically says, you are my sales manager. There's a spelling error there, but you are my sales manager. Your job is to review my sales reps calls. The transcript is here. So we're giving it the transcript from Fireflies, and we're basically saying, accurately compare it to my actual sales script. So this is what the closer, or me, if I'm taking the call, I should be following this script. So it's actually gonna be able to see how accurately I'm following it, and if I'm going off topic, and it's gonna be able to give me improvements based on this, right? So this is the best prompt you'll probably ever see. Like, I literally give it my entire sales script, as you can see. So then what I do is I essentially tell the prompt to send me an email exactly like this, right? So here's an example of the perfect analysis from the transcript. Hi Charlie, here's 5 big takeaways or improvements that can be made from the call at the date. So for example, the 4th of August, or whenever the date happened. It's actually going to give you the date of when the meeting happened, which is amazing. And then it's going to lay it out really clean. So it's going to tell me who took the call. It's going to tell me how long the call was. It's going to tell me how much money was made from the call. And this is all just using ChatGPT from the transcript that we've given it. And then it's going to be able to, give improvements on the call. So just like what I showed you in here, you can see that it's going to give it as this. And it's going to put it into an email and a Google Doc. So if we look at the email example, if we go here, click on, I believe, content, you can see this is an email that it sent me. It said, hi Charlie, here's 5 big takeaways from the call. Who's the sale rep, how long the call was, how much cash collected, and it's even going to give you timestamps and everything. So that is how I recommend laying out your prompt, so it knows how to send you an email, and you can have it in the right format, with really cool emojis just to make it pop a bit more and make it look a bit cleaner. So that is obviously amazing. So that is that. I recommend just saying don't put like the output longer than 250 words, otherwise it can talk for quite a bit. And don't include like the apostrophe or the quotation marks, and just make sure each paragraph is separate. If it sends you an email and it's all in one line, just make sure you use HTML code to basically split up the email. So there's a bunch of resources on that on Make, but yeah, most of the time it's fine and you'll be absolutely chilling. So once you've done that, you've kind of done the hardest part. Now you can very easily, if we go back here and let's just say we copy this into R1, so let's just Control A, Control C. Obviously we need to make sure we yeah, so you can see this is like perfect. So yeah, essentially let's just make that cleaner. And then for the max tokens, what you want to do is you'd want to put the max tokens as about 4,000. So this just is how many max. Yeah, I recommend keeping it to 4K, and then click OK, and you can see that you can now save it and it should be good to go. So this is perfect. Like you're literally almost done. Now you can do whatever you want with that output. If you have a Notion that you want to store all of these cool recordings and summaries in, you can use a Notion, you can use Airtable, you can use Google Sheets, Google Docs, you can get it to send you an email. Like there's so much you can do from this point on that it's ridiculous. However, for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to show you how to send an email to yourself with the meeting recap, and you can even include the recipient's email as well, or maybe your team, one of your team members' emails. So how you would do that is you would basically just search for Gmail and you click on send an email. Now, really important, I always recommend you send from a domain. Now, the reason I say that is because if you connect your Gmail to Make, you have to go through the Google admin console, and it's a bit more of a complicated step. So if you have a domain as an email, just use it. So for example, we're going to use, let's just say this one. And if we click OK, I think we need to map it, but I was going to show you that this goes away once you do that. But let's just add a recipient. So obviously we want to send it to ourselves. So if we go down here, you can see that our email is right here. So this is going to send a summary to ourselves. You can even add a recipient. So if you have a closer, you can add his email in here if you're doing a summary of his one. And then subject line, you can have this as whatever you want. Let's just put meeting recap from, and then let's just do the date. So the date should be somewhere here. You can see 4th of August, 2024 at 4:30 p.m. So that's perfect. So it's going to have a subject line saying meeting recap from 4:30 p.m, 4th of August. And then for the content, this is going to be the actual content in the email. So for example, you could just put this result. So if we quickly click OK, I think let's delete that. We don't want a second email. And if we run this now, so let's just run this. So it's taking a transcript from a meeting we've just finished, imagine. And you obviously don't have to run this yourself, right? This is going to play in the background, just a heads up. So yeah, once this loads very quickly, and by the way, whilst we're on the topic of this, if you just want to import this automation, so if you just want to be able to go here and just import it, then feel free to join my school community, because we actually have a whole make.com module where you have about 5 different make automations that you can just import into your make.com account. Within one click, you'll have the automation built for you. And we also have about 15 Go High Level automations, and you get free unlimited Go High Level by joining, as well as you can meet some amazing people like me in the community. So that's just a quick plug. But as you can see, whilst we've been talking about that, it has generated an email. And if we look at the content, you can see that it's given us the sales rep name, how long the call was, how much cash collected, and it's even given us 5 bullet points of improvements to be made. And it's given us the actual link to the transcript. Beautiful. So now you can do whatever you want from this point on. If we want to put it onto a Google Doc, we can search for Google Doc, and we can essentially do insert a paragraph, and just make sure you connect your Google Doc. That's really important. And if you choose your drive and then just select the Google Doc that you want to put the transcript and the summary onto, just do that. So for example, if you have one special, especially for this, like Jack, for example, you could put that, and then the appended text would be the result. So hi Charlie, here are the big takeaways, and that is how we got it like this. So here's the beautiful thing. This is the best part about the whole process. If you have multiple people taking calls for you, what we can do is, instead of it sending an email to all your team members, we can actually use ChatGPT to be able to see who took the meeting and then send an email and have it on its own Google Doc for the specific person who took the meeting. So how this works is, if we just basically click on this and click, I believe, add a router, you can see that we can take this up here, add that up there, and we can add another one. And what we can do is actually we delete that and we just clone this. We clone this a few times. So let's clone it again. So let's say you have 3 people taking calls for you. We don't want to send the meeting to all 3 team members, right? We just want to send it to the person that took the call, and maybe you if you're the CEO. So how this works is, let's clone this as well. And then let's clone it again. Beautiful. So let's just make sure, unlink that, because it connected to the wrong thing. So that's what we want, right? Unless we can make it a bit more. My OCD is kicking in here, but beautiful. Okay, let's just keep it as that. So now what we need to do is we need to add a filter. So how this works is, it's going to make total sense right now. So for the label, you can just call this, I don't know, the employee's name. So let's just say it's Tom, right? And what you would do is you would have the condition. We go down here, let's do name, and then let's put, you don't need to put anything else after that. But what we do need to change is this part right here. So we don't want to have that equal to, we want to put it as a contains case insensitive. So how this works is, if it includes the word, let's say Tom, in this transcript, then it's going to send an email to Tom. And how you would do that is you would add him as a recipient here. And then, for example, if you've got another team member, you would add his email right here, and you'd set up another filter. So if the transcript was, let's say, I don't know, let's say Jeffrey, and if we do the condition as name, so obviously this will be your name, but this makes sense in a second. So name, but then once again, we want to do case contains, or contains case insensitive. So if it contains his name, Jeffrey, in the actual transcript, it's going to send an email to Jeffrey. And likewise, you can do it for another person and another. There's, it's unlimited to how many people you can do this for, but this just allows you to filter where you want the summary to go to. So if you want it to go to one employee, you can do that. If you want to go to another employee, you can also do that. So that is basically how the automation runs. And yeah, we ran it, it's successful, and it works like an absolute beast. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, just drop a like and subscribe. I'm uploading videos pretty much every other day. I'm trying to stay consistent. So definitely subscribe, because I've got some amazing videos coming soon that I promise you do not want to miss. And I'll also put some videos up here that you can watch just to give you more value. So take it easy and have an amazing rest of your day.